Okay, next one is marijuana in town limits. Discussion or motion?
Councilman Hall mentioned about marijuana in town of Pound, and I just want to say, I contacted our delegate and senator, and they sent me a paper which spells out the legal and illegal sale of marijuana, use of marijuana in the Commonwealth of Virginia. I guess you checked it out, and she's making copies of it for the rest of the council. So,
Anything anybody else wants to add to that while she's making copies?
A lot of people that lives over there say that's all they smell is pot.
There may be somebody smoking it out back, I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, I'd say it's the ones that in the stores, running the stores. They gotta try it out.
For a community that was raised up on alcohol, moonshine, 13 bars at one time.
But if you like the smell of skunk,
I don't particularly care for it.
well, that's what I'm saying. That's what they smell in their apartment.
Then that's a property owner issue too. I know, she is. Unless somebody's out back smoking it.
So you're a believer.
I don't partake.
Those are the two.
She said there was 2 pages. There's 2 pages.
I don't partake. But, you know, I didn't partake it since I knew it.
You missed that.
so I guess what I get from this paper, and the attorney can correct me if I'm wrong, it says here that
Did you get on time?
adult sharing is allowed in the Commonwealth of Virginia, but it says here, transactions that include a gift of cannabis, along with the sale of other goods or services, are illegal. For instance, a vendor selling a small novelty item for money and gifting cannabis at the same time to that person who bought the novelty. Advertising that a gift of cannabis will be available at an event, such as a concert or farmer's market, and including a gift of cannabis as part of a paid class about cannabis home cultivation. And so, would it come under the purview of the council, if we so chose, to have our police chief check into these establishments on a regular basis and make sure that they're not gift sharing, gifting cannabis?
So first off, before I address that, if anybody wants to inspect this, just let me know. We got a copy up here. Second of all, I think that that is within the purview of law enforcement, obviously. You've seen actually a few of these shops raided not in town, but in the area. I think there was actually one right on the outskirts of town, a Zerati shop or something like that. Those are actions which are typically conducted by Commonwealth's attorneys, because there's an extensive amount of work that is required to really get these businesses, and they're operating in a very legal gray area. I'm convinced that many of them think that somehow there's a loophole, whereas the legislature, as you found out, was very clear about any transaction. You can't gift, you can't say, well, here's a coupon for it, or here, you buy this piece of paraphernalia and you get this free, gram of marijuana. So they are legal, they are in violation if they are selling it in any sort of manner. Law enforcement can absolutely look into that. The only concern I would have would be, I think law enforcement should probably be in contact with Brett Hall, Commonwealth's attorney for Wise County. And if they find some violation, there's nothing wrong with inspecting, just to kind of basically audit their compliance of the law. But if there is anything legal going on, I would think they would want the Commonwealth's attorney involved in prosecuting that.
You got this information from where?
Senator Moorfield, Representative Moorfield, Delegate Moorfield's office. Kilgore did not respond, but Pillian's office, Moorfield's office, and Hackworth's office did respond. 2 of them sent me this right here.
So I will tell you that sometime back, there was a Zoom with multiple law enforcement agencies, the county, the Commonwealth's attorney, people from all over the state. There is a group and that may be this Cannabis Control Authority that was created by the state to look into those items. And basically what was said was, we're going to find people. And one of the Commonwealth attorneys said, yeah, yeah, they're laughing at your $10,000 fine. And what was said at that point was until the law is made more clear, that the law enforcement agencies wouldn't be going after it. I did speak with Grant Kilgore at one point, and you're welcome to contact him as well. And pretty much he told me the same thing. Until they clarify the code section, they're not gonna go after it.
Well, at least Delegate Moorfield's legislative aid says pretty clear that, and as you see on this, that including a gift of cannabis along with the sale of other goods or services is illegal.
And this is not the code section though.
No, it isn't, but I think it should be reported to Brett Hall, Commonwealth's attorney, if it's going on, and that way it's in his court.
Yeah. I don't care one way or the other.
All right, well, I have a motion then. I would like to direct the police chief to inspect on at least a bi-weekly basis, just once every 2 weeks, any shops that indicate they may be selling marijuana, which would be like to have a picture of it outside of their shop, and to report any violations to the Commonwealth's attorney and the Cannabis Control Authority. That was my motion.
Is there a second to that motion?
That's it.
Okay, we have a second. Any more discussion? If there's no discussion, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Hawthorne,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Kennedy.
Yeah.
Mullins,
Yes.
Powers,
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes.
So, get that, Chief Wilcox, did you get that information?
If you could send me an email, sir, exactly what we'll be doing, happy to look into it.
Okay.
And just for the clarification purposes, I know you're talking about maybe one in the code section, if you want to write down 18.2-248.1. That's the code section that's going to be your distribution for marijuana. Very different penalties than it used to be, but it still can be a felony up to, I think, a class 5. I'm not a prosecutor, but I do dabble in criminal law from time to time.
do you care to repeat the
Said
code
class
section?
5 felony was maybe.
Do you care to repeat the code section?
Yeah, it's 18.2-248.1.
What?
Point
And then, next month's meeting, the chief can bring a report back to us whether or not any illegal activities are taking place in the town of Down.
Please send me an email, sir, so I'll know exactly what you're asking me to do.
Okay.
Okay, if there's no more discussion,
You can give me his email address.
Okay, yeah.